I want to hear your thoughts before you hear my thoughts.
Okay. I really like his rendition of it because he's having a psychotic break. Well, he's about to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to kill himself. And I feel like you're not that, because the ways I've seen it done before, it's a lot more grand, right? It's not so much because it's a soliloquy. It's not supposed to be a monologue. It's not like announcing it to a crowd of people. It's just him and like maybe God. And it's so intimate and it's so heartbreaking, and you can see that he's really, and he makes you understand it. Like I know that I know Shakespeare, and maybe it is because I know it, but I want to hear your thoughts as someone who might not understand it. But oh, it's so good. And the one tear, please.
I like that it doesn't sound like he's telling somebody else. Like it doesn't sound like a conversation, and it doesn't sound like he's, you know how sometimes, especially like the amount of times I've heard this, it sounds like they're telling the audience. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's you have to understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. It sounds like this is the first time he's ever had these thoughts,
or said them out loud,
or really realized them. Mm-hmm. It's a very much and all of his facial expressions lean into the fact that he's never really quite had this thought the way he's having it right now. Mm-hmm. Like maybe he's thought about it a little, but his delivery is very much like but wait, this and this. Mm-hmm. And this, what about this? And all of his, I noticed at the beginning especially, he does a lot of self-soothing motions.
Yes.
Right, the hand, mm-hmm. and then the chest rub. And at first they all start as motions that he's making. Like he says something, but then it becomes a self-soother. Mm-hmm. And it's because he knows he's breaking, but then by the time he gets into it, it's, now at this point he's just letting everything come out. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that it's not grand, because it's a different tone to Shakespeare that I don't hear ever. Because when I think Shakespeare and like delivery, it's always very grand. Yeah. Always. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anything subtle or intimate. If it's intimate, it's like a death scene. And even then I'm like,
it's still announcing. Yeah.
Right?
But it's hauntingly beautiful when it's subtle like that.
No, that was really pretty. Yeah. Have you seen Ophelia?
The movie
with Daisy Ridley?
No, I wanted to and I never did.
Okay. It was good. Now, I don't, again, know all the Shakespeare stuff. Like, that is not my area of expertise. Yeah. I do like Hamlet, but it's not my, I know all about this and I understand everything they're saying all the time. It was a really unique perspective on the story, and it's from her point of view, and there's an extra little layer to it that's so interesting. The acting is phenomenal.
I'm sure.
At least for me, I think so. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the guy who's in 1917 and a couple other things. And his Hamlet is so interesting. Because she breaks a little too, right? She's a slut.
I mean, yes.
In this, her break is entirely fake. It is all an act. Hamlet is breaking. Right. But he doesn't ever break fully, and if he does, we don't see it because the way they tell the story, it's not entirely relevant. It was a really interesting, it was a great movie. And at first I was a little lost. Let's be real, the only reason I watched it at first.
Daisy Ridley.
No. Oh. Tom Felton.
I didn't know he was in it.
He, I think, plays her brother. He plays Ophelia's brother. Oh. And I just wasn't expecting it to be on his role. It's like his rap sheet. And I was like, what is this movie that I've never heard of? And I hadn't seen 1917 at the time, so I didn't know who the guy who played Hamlet was. Mm-hmm. But I knew a couple faces, so I watched it and sat there mesmerized. It was beautiful. Yeah. The acting was very interesting. Hamlet is not... He's a very intense Hamlet, but not in a you have to do what I say way. Right. Not in like a murdery way or an anger way. He is angry, and he is intense and a bit aggressive, but it feels very different compared to other Hamlets.
I don't consider Hamlet a very strong character. Like,
by the time we meet him, he's falling apart.
Yeah. So maybe he was at one point, but
his foil is very strong, which is the point of his foil, right?
Right, yes.
The Prince of Wales or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's been a long time. I really need to reread it. But we should do a back-to-back. We can watch Macbeth and then Ophelia.
It was a good movie. It was just so interesting. It was a take I'd never seen. There was a little extra layer behind all of it that was really interesting about the uncle that I do not recall from when we read it in high school, but maybe it was there and I just didn't remember it.
In Hamlet?
It has to do with, like, a witch. And I remember there being witches maybe mentioned in Hamlet, but I remember there being witches in Hamlet. And there is one in this. And she's a major side character, especially for Ophelia.
Interesting.
It was a very unique layer to the story that I was unprepared for, but it could be plausible in like the effective real canon of Shakespeare, of Hamlet.
It really might be. It's been a long time. There could be a witch.
Even if they don't mention it in the actual canon, it doesn't matter because we don't know enough about Ophelia or see her do enough things to know if this is true or not.
Yeah.
Because all the timing works out in the proper storyline. We'll watch it. It's interesting.
Ophelia is just fan fiction.
Yeah.
It's a movie, but yeah, it was basically.
No, absolutely fan fiction. Definitely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the only reason you're reading fan fiction is because you were unhappy with the ending.
Mm-hmm.
You were unhappy with a very certain specific plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Or
you just want more of, like, if there's a side character,
I feel like
you
it
want
didn't
more
end properly. You know? Usually I feel like there's something wrong with the ending. Or something specific, I was like, ew, halfway through, and I'm like, I don't even care about the ending. It was, you ruined it here, XYZ, you know?
I'll have to say, folks listening, Andrew Scott, To Be or Not to Be monologue. Look it up on YouTube.
Very good.
It's like 3.5 minutes long.
It was worth it. I've never
good.
seen it, to be clear. This is my first time watching it.
First time. It's probably my 500th time. Very good. Give it a good watch, and then let us know your thoughts in the comments. That's what I want.
It was good. I was impressed.
It's good. It's different, but it's good.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first I was like, what's happening?
When he first starts with the chess thing, for a minute you're like, okay, what are we doing?
No, that one did not bother me.
That didn't bother you?
At first it was the tone of the whole thing. I was a little lost.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm so used to
and his pacing is
interesting, but it's because it sounds like he's thinking, and I feel like it is. You said something about understanding it better. I actually kind of knew what he was saying half the time, in like my proper understanding of what he's saying and not just the words he's saying, because he was taking his time.
Well, because, Hamlet is like the one that you go over in high school, and I think a lot of people don't even understand that he's writing, he's saying a suicide note.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Lots of people are just like, to be or not to be, that is the question.
Right, but it's not. He's not just speaking metaphorically at all.
No, he's talking about, do I want to live on this plane of existence? And
go.
And what he really does a good job of, ladders and antithesis, which is like two really big things in Shakespeare's writing. So he will ladder stuff, so it'll be like lists of things and separating those lists out of things. And then antithesis, so he does it a lot when he's talking about, like, his, what did he say exactly? It was something about, we don't know the other plane. We only know this plane of our earthly, and how are we going to cross over?
Yes.
So they talk about one thing versus it, like, and
the
compare
other
it to another.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job separating those and makes it a lot more digestible.
I liked it, and his slow pacing at first had me a little, because I feel like every time I hear, it feels so loud. My computer's hot, guys. But I feel like every time I hear that speech, it is very, to be or not to be. That is the question. Like, it's so
grand.
Yes, like
it's a proclamation.
Right, but it's not.
No.
He's debating his life, and it's not a debate between him and someone else. It's not him and his friends. It's not him and his uncle. It's not him and Ophelia. It's not him and his dead dad. Like, it's not like he's talking to the ghost of his father. He's like, Dad, should I join you? Or avenge you? Or do both? Or it's him and himself. And I think he might be, like, maybe God is there, but he's not talking to God. He's like, anyway.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good. Hey! Welcome to another episode of Fanfics and Friends!
Guys,
oh my gosh.
You all listening to this, the dates are so whack, but you have to understand, Madison and I have not, I don't know when we recorded last. I don't really know when we chatted.
I can't even tell you.
I don't know. It's been a minute, so...
It's all coming out right now.
It's all coming out right now. We're just gonna be blabbing and catching up on what Maddie has read, more so than I.
So I started this fic, and I told her I couldn't tell her about it because obviously it's perfect for the pod. And at this point, I finished it. It's been finished for like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna update her, and we're gonna see where this goes. But we thought we'd start with Shakespeare to set the tone, which I think it did.
I think it did.
I think it did.
I think
It did.
It definitely, maybe it calmed us down so we're not blowing out the mic.
It did. We're a little, I don't know what we are, but
we got our Red Bulls. Let's just say that. We needed to pick me up.
Yeah, it's been a something.
It's been a time. And that's okay.
We're here, and we're gonna have a good time. So, what? It was good. Now, no, I won't say the bad things yet. I'll just tell you what it's called.
Disclaimer, not yet.
I lied. If you want to know how I really feel about it, stay around. So this is a 300,000 plus word multi-work fic. Like, it's not
Is it
just...
trilogy? What are we...
I think it's 5 books. 7 works. Just kidding, it's 7 books.
Wow.
Let's see if that's accurate, though. Nope, yep, definitely read all of them. But I don't know if I read all of them. I did not read all of them. Because there are 5 books, and then there's 2... What the hell?
Did you read any of them?
No, I did. There's an epilogue that I didn't read because I really didn't want to at the time. And then there's like, it's not a side story, but it's like it's a back burner of a character's feelings of a certain situation in the fic. But anyway, so it's called Familia Ante Omnia. It's Latin. We'll get to why that's important later. And I'm going to read you the tags of the first fic. Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter, not / and specifically. Harry Potter and Severus Snape, Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter and Severus Snape. Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy, Severus Snape, other characters from the book used as minor characters. Original female character. Family feels, tags are for the entire story, not the individual parts. Emotional, hurt / comfort, angst, adoption, Severus Snape has a heart. Good Severus Snape, mentor Severus Snape adopts Harry Potter, Severus Snape's adopt Draco Malfoy. Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy are brothers. Adopted Harry Potter, adopted Draco Malfoy, illustrations, cover art, digital art. That is it.
Okay.
I totally did not read the illustrations, cover art, digital art, and like actually understand what they meant though until I got into it, and I was like, oh, haha, I'm stupid. But the rest of the tags, I came into this prepared for like, and it's set, like I read the description of the first one, and it's like after book 5-ish. So I came in and I was like, okay, Sirius is dead, Harry's gonna feel the way he feels about it, something's gonna happen that brings Snape into the picture, or Draco, one or the other, then it's gonna bring the other in, and then etc. I was very wrong. I was not prepared. So it starts with, do you remember Tonks? No.
Tonks?
It's her last name, Tonks. Her name is Nymphadora.
Okay.
She dates the werewolf professor guy. Well, she marries him, technically. I don't remember if you remember Lupin, right?
Lupin? Okay, I almost said Lupin. Okay, yep. Lupin.
Where she ends up married to Lupin.
Do I remember? He's a pretty big character, is he not?
No, he is, yes.
Okay.
They end up married. She's the one who can, like, change her facial features and stuff, her body, with magic. It starts from her perspective, and I was like, what? What? And it's just her rolling up to an order meeting at the house, but it's not like the whole order, it's just some of the members of the Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
And Dumbledore is like, I've brought this person with me. You have to trust her because I said so. Yay. And her name is...
Is this the original character?
This is the original female character. And I was like, okay, we're introducing her right now.
This is all within the first chapter?
Maybe not. Yes. Yes. Let me find her full name. He says her full name. Because I know her... She has... The name he introduces her by is an alias. And I don't want to tell you her real name yet.
Okay.
That's her description. Wait, we'll tell you her description. She's 5'9", long, dark brown hair, early 30s. That's the description we get of this lady.
Okay.
Lean, L-E-E-N, 9, N-I-N-E.
Lean 9.
He calls her Miss Lean 9. He calls her Miss 9. And that's how we're introduced to her as.
Okay.
And I was like, who? I was like, what? And then from this chapter, right, it's an introduction of her to the Order. And, like, Lupin's a little interesting about it. And I was like, okay. And then we immediately jumped to Harry with his aunt and uncle. And I was like, what the
Wow.
I was like, this whiplash is crazy. Like, what's going on?
That's kind of like a very bookish way to start, though, isn't it?
No, I wasn't angry. I was just, I was intrigued. I wasn't mad. I was intrigued. Well, then Harry is, like, disassociating on a swing. And he, like, comes back to himself with a person, like, offering him a can of Coke. And it's this random witch who maybe knows who he is, maybe she doesn't, he can't quite tell. I'm under the assumption that it's this 9 character. Mm-hmm. It is. And she asks him a couple really random questions about his aunt and uncle. And then a couple days later, her and Lupin roll up to his aunt and uncle's house and are like, let's go. You're coming with me. And Harry's like, okay. Like, I'm not angry, but I am confused. So they leave Vernon and Petunia's, which is weird. That's not normal. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty early in the summer, which is even weirder.
How old? How old is he?
He's 15.
Okay.
It's weird, though, because, right, Dumbledore's all about the blood protection around his aunt and uncle's house, so it's very weird. We find out. She gives him her full name. Well, she doesn't give him her entire name. She tells him part of her name.
Lean.
That's a part of her name, yeah. Well, but also it's not. Her name, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, is Saturnine.
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 I mean, yeah, it seems...
That's her first name. Nine. Her first name.
First name?
Her first name is Saturnine.
Okay, Saturnine.
Basically, and during the first fic, I was like, I think I'm right. They tell us enough about her, and she won't tell Harry things. She won't tell him her entire name. She won't tell him about her childhood. There's a lot she won't tell him, and she's like, if I tell you things, it puts multiple lives, including my own, but others in danger. So, like, I can't tell you. And about halfway through this fic, I was like, are you somehow involved in any way, shape, or form with Snape? Because how else is he getting involved in this? Because as of right now, he's spending the summer in, I think, Cokeworth with Saturnine.
Just him, no Draco, no Snape.
No, and so I'm like, okay, wait, these tags in this are not matching. I am lost. Well, at some point, she decides to take him to see some graves.
Okay.
Including his mother and father's, but also her mother's. And her mother's tombstone says Eileen Prince, because that's her mother's name. Okay. And her name is Saturnine Eileen, and then she has a last name, but it isn't Prince. Now, if you recall your Harry Potter lore, which at this time I did, I was like, holy shit, I'm right.
Okay.
Eileen Prince is also the name of Severus Snape's mother, because he's the half-blood prince. And the prince is not I'm a prince, it's the prince as in he's his last name is Prince, but it's not. He goes by Snape, his father's last name. And I was like, so they're siblings? Maybe? But do they know they're siblings? Like, obviously she knows, but does Snape know he has a sibling? I'm like, secret sibling moment? Question mark? But Harry doesn't know this about Snape yet, right? So Harry has no idea. At the end of the book, she has this necklace that she wears all the time that Harry's never seen, but, like, he finally sees it, and it's this really pretty S on it. And she tells him, you know, I'll let you wear it to keep you safe kind of thing. But, like, don't lose it, you know, etc. And he's like, I promise. So it's like this mother-son energy for this entire first book. And I was like, okay, still lost. Well, over the next, basically they go to like Hogwarts, and she's going to Hogwarts, but not as Saturnine Eileen. At this point, Prince. We know Snape, but like Harry doesn't know Snape. I might be mixing up which book is which, but anyway, it doesn't matter. They're going to school. She's under a new fake name. It's like,
so she's a very big character.
She's the major character.
Okay.
Yes. And I was like, why did we not put original female character earlier? But basically, she has another alias. It's Eileen 9, right? We're all over the map. She has a really specific dress. She looks entirely different, but she's using Muggle makeup. She's using all kinds of, like, Muggle distraction techniques and, like, magician techniques that have nothing to do with magic. Because she's like, I have to make sure my brother doesn't know who I am. So you're like, okay, so they obviously know each other then. Like, they have to know who the other is. If she's worried about him recognizing her, he doesn't. He thinks she's suspicious, but he doesn't know who she is. But Harry can't talk to her. Like, Harry has to act like he doesn't know who she is in, like, class and stuff, which he hates, which is very on brand. She wrote Harry pretty well. But I'm like, what? So it's book 6 at this point. So Draco's being suspicious.
Dumbledore's alive. Draco's being suspicious.
Dumbledore's alive for now.
Is he? Okay, so is it following the plot?
Ish.
So is Voldemort a threat in this?
Yes. All of that is still true. I'm trying to remember everything that happens. I've read so long ago. But basically, at some point, how do they figure out? Draco and Harry have to they get kidnapped.
What?
By Death Eaters. And, like, are taken to Voldemort at Malfoy Manor. And I don't remember if she reveals herself then or later, but Snape knows who she is now.
Is he pissed about it?
I don't think they've talked about it. Like, at that point, they hadn't talked about it, so she
only reveals herself because of the situation, kind of thing?
Yes, because it's during the school year.
Okay.
And so it's like this OS moment. And then, but they had the first priority for both of them is to get the boys back, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because Snape doesn't really care about Harry, but he cares about Draco, and she cares about Harry. And Snape's like, well, how do we even find them? Like, we can't find them. And Saturnine's like, well, he has my necklace. And Snape is like, you gave him your necklace? Because we find out Snape made her the necklace. They actually have a matching pair. They both have a necklace.
Aww.
And the necklaces can track each other.
Why?
Because whatever. It's so many layers of really random stuff. They find the boys, but she can do this really weird magic that nobody else can do, and we're so intrigued by it. Snape almost gets himself killed saving them because he's like, you have to go, I have to be a distraction so you can get out. He almost dies. He doesn't die, but he just destroys his magical core. So now it's Harry, Draco, her, and Snape at this house in Cokeworth, recovering during the winter holidays, basically. Or something. Maybe it's the end of the year. I don't even remember. But it's wild. And Harry's like, because Harry figures it out. Because Harry has on her necklace, and Draco's like, where did you get that? And Harry's like, why? Because at this point, like, they were kind of enemies, but they both should have been tortured. And at this point, Harry's like, you know what? You're clearly not having a good time. I don't really think you want to do this anyway. I'm going to take care of you as best as I can. And Draco's like, I really appreciate that. So they're having this really weird conversation, and he's like, where'd you get that necklace? And he's like, why? He's like, Snape has that, like, that's Snape's necklace. And
so
Harry's like,
does Snape and Draco have a different relationship then?
They're godfather and godson, but they've always been that. They just don't really talk about it in the books or the movies. But, well, maybe that's not canon. maybe that's so...
You were so confident with that.
Maybe it's so ingrained into fandom that it's become canon in my brain, but I would believe it's true too. But they're godson and godfather.
But, like...
They are close. They were close until 6th year, but Snape still cares about
Actually,
Draco.
In canon, we
don't know. We
Okay.
don't know their relationship in canon. In this, they're close until 6th year starts. So Draco's like, that necklace, and Harry's like, oh my god, they're siblings. And Draco's like, what? And he's like, doesn't matter, not right now. Harry's actually super calm and mature about it. Which at first I was like, that's not believable. And then I thought about it more, and I was like, it could be if he's had enough care from this human, and she shows she really cares about him and will work with him, he might not actually be angry at her for lying if he understands the situation fully, which he does, because she's always honest with him. And I was like, maybe. Well, anyway, they're like at this house in the middle of nowhere by the seaside, and Harry and Draco like have to get along, and they're doing okay, mostly. And at first I was like, I'm so lost. Because Snape, the way she writes Snape, we never see Snape in canon really be soft. The only time we see him be soft is when we like get memories of him with the dead Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I don't know if this is an accurate Snape, because he's very soft with Saturnine after a certain point. And very emotional. Like, very emotional. And I was like, I don't know if this is accurate. Mm. I'm not angry, and it fits the vibes that I wanted out of this fic, but I don't know how accurate this is character-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Harry and Draco are very much brothers, which we love, and Harry and Snape are like trying to get along. Harry does not go Horcrux hunting, because at this point, everybody knows about them, and by everybody I mean Snape, Saturnine, and Dumbledore. Dumbledore is still alive, and all this is happening. They go to 7th year.
So none of the whatever Death Eater, like, Draco needs to kill Dumbledore vibe have...
It started like that to my memory, but then they got taken to the house, and I don't remember why or how, but they get taken to the house.
So none of that happened like that. Where are Draco's parents? What are they doing?
I'm trying to remember. Oh my gosh. Narcissa dies.
What?
No, like Voldemort kills her for Draco's betrayal, and Lucius is fine with it. Lucius disowns Draco publicly to like try and get a reaction, if I remember properly. There's so many layers to this, but the major one, I was still like, I spent this entire fic trying to wrap my head around Saturnine. I was like, where did you get the idea to give him a sister? She's younger than him, but mothers him. And he's just... Severus is a really interesting character in this fic specifically, and I struggled to reconcile it with canon. Harry is also different, and I struggled to reconcile it with canon a little, because he does things with a lot more intention and thought than he does in the books. Harry's really smart in the books, but he's also very
emotional,
rash. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't feel as rash in this. And I'm like, I don't think getting a mother figure for like a year would change that suddenly. Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting fic. I'm not going to tell you the end, because like our listeners, if they want to go read it, right? Because I've barely told you half of it. It ends happy, like whatever. I guess it depends on your definition of happy. It ends in a good way, I think. But I spent most of it really confused about the way she wrote the characters. Mm-hmm. It was good, but I was like, I kind of like it if they're still pseudo-accurate. Ish. Unless you start at a place that there's enough room for change. Mm-hmm. Like, if you started this in year 1, I can expect to see something like this by year 6. I don't think it would happen this quickly in, like, half a year. Yeah. So that was a bit weird. And then her story pacing was really interesting. The authors. they would, like, tell you something, they'd mention something in passing, and then they wouldn't explain it, and then 2 books later, suddenly we're getting that scene. And sometimes I was okay with it, because it brings more context that is interesting, and it's in an interesting way, and it keeps you interested. And then other times I was annoyed. I was like, dude. Or, this is the part that actually had me a little frustrated, right? Mostly because the reason I'm here is found family, and she was here only for the plot most of the time. And if it was found family, it was actually usually between Severus and Saturnine. And I was like, do I care about these 2? No! I'm here for Draco and Harry's sibling ship, not the 2 of you. I don't even know you. I mean, I do know her, but, like, I don't even know you. But anything that happened potentially between the boys or between Harry and Snape was highly glossed over. Like, you were told it happened. The only time we saw any of it was when Saturnine was under arrest for a brief period of time, and it was just the boys. And they were all stressed and freaking out, and Snape was, like, shutting down, and the boys were like, we're getting your shit together for you. And so we saw that, but I was like, I would have liked to see this every time. Harry and Draco hardly fight, and I'm like, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
They spent 5.5 years thinking they hated each other's guts. Whether they did or not, unknown.
And now they're stuck in a cramped place, probably, right?
Yes.
In a stressful
They're
situation.
sharing a bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd be
like,
fighting.
trauma bonding is one thing, and they did that, but it would not fix everything. It means they might trust each other, but it doesn't mean they would stop disliking each other.
I feel like they give them even more leeway. Like, once you start considering people, like, closer to you, you feel more...
willing to fight with them. And they do bicker, but they don't actually fight, and I feel like... there's one series I read that was, like, slay murder. I was like, yes. I think it's called Patchwork Family, and that one had the peak of them, like, fighting. And I was like, this is what I was... Now, overall, family, what'd I say?
Patchwork Family?
No, this fic. The fic I'm talking about.
You can't say it.
Yeah, it's Latin. I don't remember either. Familia Ante Omnia. It was really good. It was very interesting. It had me very engaged. But I spent half of it very lost.
Just because of the original character.
Yes, and I was like, you could have warned me more clearly that it was going to be like...
If she was going to be kind of the main...
Because she was, almost...
I wonder if they did that intentionally so people would read it.
Maybe.
Because I wouldn't. I don't know that you would have either.
I wouldn't have either. No, it was good. It was good. The digital artwork was cracking me up because it was like these really like interesting visually pieces, and they were like layered and they were pretty. But then it was like Snape's head, and I was like, and it was like Alan Rickman's head, and I was like. And they were good. Like I understood almost all of it, but sometimes, especially when she chose to do digital art. Of like him being emotionally vulnerable with his sister, I was like, I don't know.
But it was obviously it was based off of Alan Rickman, not like a...
No, it was definitely like Alan Rickman.
Not like a caricature of... Which is interesting, because isn't... Alan Rickman's like actually kind of old for what Snape is in the book, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Snape is supposed to be like 30s.
Yeah, and Alan Rickman is definitely in his 50s.
Let me see if I can show you a picture. Like, each book starts with like a
little
book cover.
That's cool.
I'm cool. And you can actually download these. Like, she's got a place for you to download
I read one like that,
yeah.
Where it was already in the format of a book.
Which is super nice.
That is cool.
Not opposed to that epicness. I'm like scrolling looking for this. I should just do entire work. Because they weren't every chapter either. They were like on occasion.
Jeez.
I just really want...
Are they just links or are they in?
No, they were like in it. I remember them being embedded. Because I probably wouldn't have gone looking for them. Oh, hold on.
So it's like a storybook.
But like, I kind of liked the scribbly vibes, but then like, say psych.
That is fully...
Like, they're just screen cuts from the movies, kind of.
Yeah.
But then it also has, like, the text from the scene, which I don't mind. I'm just a little lost.
Kind of looks like a history book.
It's like that taupey color.
Mm-hmm.
It's sepia-toned.
Sepia-toned?
So, yeah, I was highly...
Is that how all of them kind of look? They're
yes.
Like that. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
You're so lucky. All of y'all are so lucky that we were not doing this when I read Patchwork Family. I had so many thoughts about that. It was good. To my current remembrance, it was quality. But that was like 7 months ago.
You can always give it a little reread.
That's too many.
Little reread?
For me to remember all the details other than it being good.
It's pretty iconic.
I'm wild.
That's 300,000 words, actually.
No, that's not that crazy.
Yeah, that's not that crazy.
Let's see if Patchwork Family was huge.
I'm pretty sure that one Time Travel Fix It was the one book out of, I think, the 3 was 500,000. I think.
Dang.
Yeah.
Bro, where is this? Actually, what the hell? So Patchwork Family is a 49-chapter fic that is 352,000 words in the single fic. Like, it's just, you gotta click through all of it. I think he adopts them, but it starts in 3rd year. Maybe this isn't the one I was thinking of. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know if I remember. I've read a little too much.
Have you been reading a lot, actually?
No. I just started a new one, but it's not Harry Potter.
What
Oh,
is
wait, no,
it?
I didn't. It was a single one-shot that had me sad.
Oh. Ew.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
It was, My Hero.
Mm.
And it was like, it had me at first intrigued, and then I was like, oh, you're just depressing.
Did you not read the tags?
No, I did, but you know sometimes when it's like angst, heart, comfort, you never really know what you're getting
You don't know
until
what
you get into
the
it.
angst means, yeah.
Like, if they don't tag it, you don't know. And it all depends on how well they write it, because if they're good writers, it's more angsty than bad writing.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, tone it down. Tone it
need
down
that.
over there.
Hey,
Butter noodles.
butter noodles.
Yeah, I didn't know you were a bass.
yeah, I am.
Just with them low notes.
That's my zombie from Minecraft impression.
Oh, you did mean zombie, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. What do you
was
think
like-
I meant, creeper?
Yeah, but I was like, no, I think there actually are zombies in that game. Can you tell I don't actually know what we're talking about?
You're not a gamer girl.
No, in what world do you think I was?
I think you could be if you tried.
But what game would I play?
Stardew Valley.
Is that the one with the guy that everybody likes? Like, everybody's
So
like,
specific.
everybody's like, the
With
guy with
Harvey?
the glasses. Yes! What is that? What is up with that?
I don't know. I don't play Stardew Valley.
Then why would I play? Why do you think I would like it?
Because I think you would. I know what it's about. It's like it's a farming simulation kind of game. I think you'd like it. I would like it as well. I'm purposefully not playing it because I don't have the time to be invested in that.
Is that the mining game? You like mine or fish or farm?
Yep. All of it. Yes. Correct. I don't know. I'm sure we could find you. You just gotta find that one. I have my one. It's Animal Crossing. And I don't play it.
I played 3 hours straight of Pokemon Arceus, and I haven't played it since.
Ooh, you should play Undertale.
That's the one with the bone guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
It has good music.
Yes, it does. Toby Fox. It does have good music.
That's all I know about it. Isn't it sad?
Mm,
It's kind of like choose your own story kind of vibes.
it is choose your own story, kind of.
I've watched my brother play it.
It's really good. It's really good. I don't think it's sad from what I recall. I think it's one of those kind of like real life. Like, there's definitely like real life. But I really like games like that, so I don't know. But I don't remember it being overly sad.
You should play the KFC whatever game.
Sorry, what? Oh, KFC Daddies or something?
I think it's just a KFC dating simulator. I don't remember what it's called. Maybe it's like I Love You, Colonel Sanders or something.
Yeah.
KFC Daddies. It's Dream Daddies and KFC.
I'm gonna play Dream Daddies so bad. I think that'd be so funny.
Have you heard the theme?
Probably at one point. I think I watched PewDiePie
it's like,
play through it.
Dream Daddy. It's so funny.
I also watched PewDiePie play through Doki Doki Book Club, and I want to play that.
What the shit is Doki Doki Book Club?
It's this like, it's like this Japanese. It's really really cutesy looking, but it's like a horror game. It ends up being a horror game, but it's really cool. And I don't totally remember because it was a long time ago. I mean, I was in high school. Doki Doki. I loved watching his playthroughs when he did that. That's like all I did in high school. I would like redo my notes for class and have that going on in the background. I watched him play through so many games. But that was one of them. And I feel like it's been long enough to, my memory with things that I don't consider important. Gone. Don't really know anything about it. So I feel like I would enjoy playing through it. I think I would have to play through it on a PC though, which I don't currently have a good setup for. So maybe one day I'll be a true gamer.
I won't. I have a random question for you.
I'm scared. Okay.
No, it's not that scary.
Okay.
What would you not want to read fan fiction of? Like, what do you think you're like, if I read that, it would ruin canon?
Oh, the Bible. No, I think.
I don't think it would ruin canon.
No,
I think it would just be horrible to canon. What's that word? Defile?
Defile.
It would.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
Gosh, I don't know. Do you have something in mind?
There's several things I would not choose to read. There's several things that I was like, oh my god, I've never read fanfiction of that. Like,
I don't think, actually I know, because the canon is so silly already. I definitely would not want to see what people do with it. I would never read Once Upon a Time fanfiction. I feel like it would be so bad.
Well, it's already a fanfiction. It honestly is.
Yeah, it kind of is a giant fanfiction. I was in
Peter Pan is your ex-boyfriend's dad, but you're gonna get married to your son's grandfather's archenemy. She does.
You know, I don't care. Hook was hot.
Oh, I'm not saying it was a bad thing. I didn't say being archenemies with Peter Pan from Once Upon a Time was a bad thing. Peter Pan from Once Upon a Time is kind of horrible, if you recall.
I do recall.
Wait, not granddad, great-granddad. Because technically, Peter Pan's son is... Oh, what's his name? What's his name? Come on now. That guy.
Rumpelstiltskin?
Yes! He's Peter Pan's son, and Bellfire is Rumpel's son.
Yeah, it kind of is fanfiction, so I don't know.
Right, that's 4 layers, right? You've got Henry to
Bellfire.
Right, because he calls Bay. To, which I think
Rumpel.
I think his human name is Neil, maybe. To Rumpel to Peter. She's married to her son's great-grandfather's arch nemesis, who's also her son's grandfather's nemesis, because Hook is actually married to Rumpel's old wife for like 4 seconds.
That's dates. Crazy that you can. You know what? I don't remember anything from that show. I remember vague.
We meet Hook early in season 2, and you don't think you're gonna see him again, and then you do because they end up in the middle of Neverland.
I want to rewatch it in theory, not in practice. I really want to, and then I started, and I'm like, ooh. I'm like, that's crazy.
Almost my drink. That's too accurate.
No, what made me think of Once Upon a Time though is because I was at this acting workshop over the weekend, and one of the girls did the opening scene. And I completely forgot she did the opening scene of that show where she's on the date.
It's a date, but it's not actually a date.
And it slayed. And I was like, actually, I'm stealing that. I love her. I love that girl.
It's a great scene.
It's a great scene. So that's in my pocket now.
And What's Her Face is amazing. I was like, girl, why? I thought about this the other day. I was like, why did she do this show?
What did I see her in the other day? Was it Doctor Who when we were watching it?
No, she's not Doctor Who.
What did I
She's American.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so is Jack.
Yeah, but he's Jack Harkness. That's very different. She's in House.
No, I saw her in something the other day. She was like such a side character. It was not even. What was I watching? It had to have been with somebody. I wasn't watching anything on my own.
It's Jennifer something. Morris? I think her name is Jennifer Morris.
Oh, it was a clip from How I Met Your Mother.
She was in How I Met Your Mother.
I think it was How I Met Your Mother. She was a totally, I guess, I'm sure she was.
Jennifer Moore's son. She was in House, Once Upon a Time, Big Stan, How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
This Is Us, Warrior.
I saw her in a clip of that. It was so interesting seeing her play a little bit of a softer character, because Emma Swan is very, very hard. She's soft and then hard in House. She's pretty soft in House. Yeah, I love her though. She is beautiful. I thought she was beautiful.
And I think she's good. I think she's good at her job. I like her. Mm-hmm. She's a good actress.
I like her a lot. You know what she kind of reminds me of? Your mom.
You think?
Yeah. She kind of looks like your mom to me.
It's like right here. It's like her lower face.
Could be the hair too.
And the hair. Yeah. Well, it's blonde, yeah.
Yeah.
This.
That I think. Wow. In that face. We can bleep out her name. But yeah. So no, that scene slayed.
I do love that scene. It's a great scene. And she looks so good in that scene, too.
Oh, she looks phenomenal. She looks phenomenal in that whole show. Man, I remember watching that as a kid, and I was like, that's what I want to look like when I grow up. And now I'm here, and I'm like, well, that's probably how... Actually, she was probably older. She was probably in her early 30s.
Yeah, she's 45 now. And once was 2011.
Actually, well, then no, she's probably math.
2011 minus now is how many years?
12? 13?
Somewhere in there, so subtract that from 45.
So like 30.
She's 30-something, yeah. See?
And I stand by it.
You're gonna be there. You're gonna
I'm gonna slay in my 30s.
I'm gonna slay them.
I'm slaying my 30s.
That's so funny.
That's all I have to say.
I don't think I would want to watch Once either. I don't want to read Once Upon a Time fanfiction. That'd be scary.
No. What is yours? What do you not want to...
Lord of the Rings. It's so good. It doesn't need fanfiction. There's nothing that I would fix. And I've discovered this after listening to the audiobook of the first one, that people who hate on Frodo, don't understand Frodo. I know you don't get Lord of the Rings. Like, I know you don't.
Yes, Frodo.
Like, I know you don't get it.
I guess I've only seen the first movie. It was that stupid 8-hour-long version, and people were talking through. I don't even know what happened. Somebody.
It's okay, guys. I'm gonna fix it. I will.
Orlando Bloom was blonde.
That's true. I'm gonna fix it, guys. Don't worry. We're gonna get there. I promised her Aragorn, so we'll get there, guys. But listening to that book, and I was like, y'all who hate Frodo
Probably only watch the movies.
Or they don't understand his purpose or who he is as a character. He's the reluctant hero, and he's not having a good time. Right? And you can tell he's not having a good time.
Human.
He doesn't want to have a good time. He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
He spends the first half of the book going on a journey that he knows he has to take, but he's expecting to go home. So, right, he leaves home with the ring, and he's going to take it to the elves in Rivendell. That's his entire purpose. In the book, he's like, I have to do this, and then I'm free, I can go home, and I can live my life in the Shire. And he has fun going on the adventure, but he wishes the adventure was under other circumstances, and he'd love to see more parts of the world, but because of the weight he's been bearing this whole time, he's like, I just want to live my life. Until the council is in session, and basically he realizes there is no one else to do this. Like, I am the only option. And they literally, in the book, I remember it saying, he's terrified, like he's so afraid, like this fear comes over him. And in that fear, he basically is like, I will take the ring. Mm-hmm. And I was like, y'all fools are so crazy for hating on this man.
That's such a good character, though, because isn't that everybody?
Yes!
Isn't that everybody stepping into their real calling in life? They're scared.
Yeah, it's not like I'm so excited to do this.
I'm so excited because this is what I meant to do. I am terrified because this is what I meant to do.
Yes! It's so good. And Sam is only going to protect Frodo. Mm-hmm. Sam does not give two rats about the ring. Sam does not care about the ring making it to the mountain. Sam cares about Frodo. Mm-hmm. It's the only reason Sam is going. And you know what? I know we hate on Merry and Pippin because they're big fat idiots and Pippin is an idiot and we love Merry, but they only go for Frodo. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, if he's going, we're going. And, bro, I didn't realize this until I read the book, listened to the books. The major elf bro, Elrond, who's like in charge of the whole meeting, is like, Pippin, no. And Pippin's like, Pippin, yes. You could chain, you will have to chain me somewhere and make sure I cannot get out to keep me from going with Frodo. And yeah, they kind of want to go on the adventure, but they both are like, we would not go on this adventure. Like, if we had the choice, we would not be choosing this adventure. Which
is so interesting because that kind of proves that in his life at home, Frodo was a leader and didn't realize it. He had people, either he's a leader or people are just like, he's gonna die, we have to go protect him, I guess.
No, they just care about him. It's not even about leadership. They just care. They love him.
Yeah.
They're his, because they don't see it in the movie. In the books, they know from the get-go that something is off with him. Mm. They don't act any different. Sam tells them all the drama Sam knows, and they're like, we have to help him. That's the option. And then, once they finally tell him that they know, he's like, oh my gosh, y'all are crazy. He's like, but you don't have to come with me. And they're like, no, we're coming, except for one. There is one of them that is not mentioned in the movies. We don't even see him. And he's like, I can't do that. Like, you can't catch me doing that. And Frodo's like, that's okay. Like, that's all right. The rest of them shouldn't be coming. Yeah. It's dangerous. And the rest of them were like, that's too bad. We're coming. I was like, y'all people who hate this man do not understand him. You don't get it. You're not even him yet. You're out here not
You're knowing. The fifth guy.
No, you just don't get it yet. Like, he does not want to be here. Mm-hmm. He did not ask for this job. He would actually rather be anywhere else, but he has to. He's the only option, so he has. That's crazy. He is a weak link. Yeah, we know. Like, he is not having a good time. And half the time, he does stuff, he's afraid, and then he's like, well, I have to try. That's him for the half the book. And you're like, how are you hating on this man? Now, I'm not done with book 2 or 3, so maybe he changes. But as of book 1, he's brilliantly written. I think he's brilliant.
Nobody touch him in the AO3, I don't want to see it.
Well, as of right now, I don't want to read. It frightens me to read Lord of the Rings. That just sounds terrifying because I feel like it's so good. Mm-hmm. Like the Lord of the Rings. I feel like the Hobbit movies are fan fiction of Hobbit the book. I feel like Lord of the Rings are equivalent to the Harry Potter movie adaptations. Like, it's not the entire book, and there are some subtle changes, but they had to be made to make sure they could get the majority and major plot points in. I don't view it as fan fiction. I feel like The Hobbit is different from the Hobbit book. Now, I haven't read The Hobbit, but they feel a little different. But it just sounds scary to read Lord of the Rings fanfiction. It's really well done. It's really well tied up. I feel like there aren't loose ends, and I wasn't unhappy with any of their character endings, at least as of right now. So I was like, why would I read that? Unlike Harry Potter, where I was frustrated with the end of that book, and so I was like, well, it has to be fixed. It must be better. There's better out there, and there is better out there. J.K. Rowling, I don't know what you were doing. I don't know what you were doing. Harry, working as a cop? No. Ron? Yes. Harry? No. Whatever you chose to do with the cursed child? Also no. I don't know what that was. Nobody knew what that was.
Did you?
But it wasn't meant for the world to see.
Did you see that TikTok I sent you of the Property Brothers meeting the Weasley twins?
Yes. I also saw a really funny meme of them, like, when you get the wrong twins for the job. And it's the Phelps twins, like, on a job site with, like, their fits. And then it was the Property Brothers in, like, wizarding robes. And they were, like, flinging their... Well, that was about to say something really inappropriate, but... Recently, okay, speaking of memes, recently I saw this video and it was a kid, like a teenager maybe, or maybe we couldn't see the person asking the question. It was a young adult maybe, asking the actors who played Merry and Pippin a question. Right, they're the two hobbits. And they're like, have you seen the Elijah Wood Have You Worn Wigs video? And the guy who plays Merry is like, that's me. And they're like, no, it's not. And he's like, yeah, it is. And the guy who plays Pippin is like, no, it's him. Because it is him. It's literally him. The video is him and it looks like him and it sounds like him with a weird accent. It's literally him. And they were like, no, it's not. It was so funny because they were both like, because in the video you see his face, you see him go, have you worn wigs? But it looks just like him. Like
That's great.
And I was like, what do you... That's so silly of you. That's so silly.
I don't think I would... I guess never say never. I think interviewing celebrities would be really, really stressful.
I think we would slay if we tag teamed it.
Maybe.
No. I'm not saying it'd be the most amazing. You know those interviews recently, I don't know who does them, but it's between celebrities. And they're very touching. They're very intense and sometimes heartbreaking. It's usually between two actors of not of similar caliber, but they've not worked together often or frequently or recently.
Oh, the Vanity Fair?
Yes. Yeah. Those interviews, it's not going to be that level. It's not going to be that level.
No, I was like, those are phenomenal.
No, it's going to be that level of quality, but not that kind of quality. It's going to be different quality.
Like more silly?
Yes. I think we would slay at celebrity interviews as long as the celebrities knew the tone we were bringing into the room. Which is this. Whatever this is, that's...
A couple episodes first. Be like, hey,
we're gonna interview you. This is the vibe, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Be prepared for the unknown. We will most likely, definitely, absolutely go off script.
Absolutely mention Harry Potter once.
Even better, it won't be Madison. Bailee will bring it up on accident. And
I'll say a name wrong.
Get me going. And then I'll correct her and then we won't stop. And it actually won't be about you anymore. It'll be about us. And then we'll apologize.
But
you should have us interview you anyway because it's going to be super funny.
Do you have a dream interview candidate?
Do you?
Interviewing though? I was like, I would really like to interview... Actually, yes, I would. She's also one of my favorite actresses, but I think she would also match our freak, Emma Stone. I think she'd be really fun to interview.
Does Andrew Garfield need to be there?
Sure, he can be there. He can be in a little chair off to the side. We'll all be on the couch.
And Andrew.
And Andrew can be right over there. Yeah, he can be there. Sure.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling would also probably be fun.
Oh, Ryan Gosling would be hilarious.
Do you have some?
I don't know. Who would I want to interview? I actually don't know anything about his vibe because I've never watched an interview with him, but I think it would be interesting to have a conversation with Christopher Sabat. You've heard about him way too much from me.
Yes.
Or, in a very different direction, I would want to... I don't know how he would handle it. I would want to... I've not seen enough interviews with him either, but I would really want to talk to Bradley James, but they have to be together. Bradley James and, oh my gosh, what's his name? I don't want to get his name wrong because I think he's super cool. Just tell me who played him. Thank you. Bradley James and Anthony Head. Heed. It's probably Heed. I want to talk to them together.
Okay.
One, I think Anthony Heed's super cool. He's been in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Mm-hmm. Right, he was in Merlin. He was in... Oh my gosh.
Don't look at me.
No, you've seen it. It's 3 seasons. It's a TV show on Apple Plus. Apple TV, whatever.
Oh, Ted Lasso?
Yes, he's in Ted Lasso.
Wow. You're so welcome and lucky.
He's the ex-husband.
Oh my gosh, he's a jerk.
In that, yes. He's a jerk in a lot of things, actually. He's really good at it.
Oh, yeah, he's awful in that.
I think Anthony Heed is a fabulous actor.
And you want them...
But I want Bradley James there, too. Bradley James is the guy who plays Arthur Pendragon in Merlin. I want both of them together because I think Anthony Heat is actually really cool. Every
Mm-hmm.
time I see him being himself, I'm like, this man looks so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Bradley James would start stoic. I would just ruin it. I'd say something really out of pocket and he'd be like, and then you would just keep going with it and he'd just be like, well, okay, here we are, here we're going. I think they'd be
So
a
funny.
riot.
I
riot.
had somebody else that I was thinking of. Who was it? Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller. I want both of them.
Together! Oh my gosh. Can we just
I
have
feel like
Michael
it would
Keaton
be
walk in and out?
I feel-
I want Michael Keaton to walk in and out of that interview.
Michael Keaton would be great too. No, I feel like Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller, getting them on the podcast would be very much like inviting like your uncles that don't really know
What you're
talking about, but they're trying.
They'd be so in it.
Yeah, they'd be trying their best.
Oh my goodness. I agree. That'd be so funny. Is there
I think
anyone
it'd be
else?
so fun.
Who else should join us?
I don't know. It's okay.
I'm trying to think. Big thoughts.
Oh.
I feel like you would get it, but I can't decide if that's worth it. Nope. I think this is the choice because they would be so different and it'd be so funny because they're very different. Chris Evans and Benedict Cumberbatch at the same time. That would be really
I'm sure
interesting to see.
I'm sure there is an interview with both of them. Haven't they been paired up before?
I don't know.
During the Marvel madness?
They did a bunch of British people together. They did Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, and Tom. The other Tom?
Tom. Why?
Tom. Yeah, I was like, the other Tom.
What happened to him?
They were in a big interview series for a while.
Yes.
But I think, I don't know.
Tom and his dad's.
Tom and his, they did keep it under control.
Yeah,
they were like,
they did. Years of PR training.
or just Anthony Mackie.
By himself. Please.
Bro, no, it's that interview with the, bro, I'm Cinderella. You got $20?
I'm broke. Realistically, though, the first people I want on this podcast are our friends that also read fan fiction.
Do we have a lot of those?
I have one. You don't have one?
That was you, man. I don't know if I have more.
Dang. Really? Maybe you just don't know about them yet.
Maybe not openly,
Come out
which
of
is
the
silly
woodwork.
because most of my people know about this, so if they weren't telling me,
If they-
what are they reading? If you know I do this and you have yet to tell me you read fanfiction,
That's scary.
yeah, what are you
hiding?
not telling me about? I know there's a person that does read fanfiction I know of, but I don't know how often she reads it anymore. I know she used to read it, and she's written before. Ooh,
Also,
maybe I should get the name of that for you.
Oh.
Because she wrote Raylo.
Oh!
But I don't know if she still reads, so I'm not sure. I don't know. No, that was a bad idea. I changed it. Never mind.
Me too. We both had thoughts. We both hard neglected those.
I also think it'd be funny to have like the people who started this business.
Like the people that own AO3.
Yeah, that'd be so interesting to see what they think.
That would be interesting. I feel like we would have to get a full-on... we need to book a conference room. I want to be sitting at a table in suits for that episode.
I want to know what they think
Of what has happened?
after all this time. Like,
Yeah.
where we've come, where AO3 has come, what it's been through. Right, last year with the cyber attack business. Like,
Yeah.
I just
And
want
now
to know.
the new...
One is so popular now. This is actually part
Yeah.
of pop culture. How do they feel about that?
Mhm.
Do they feel like it's now skewed out of proportion, or do they feel like it's in proportion?
Or is this how they always wanted it? Like, is this the trajectory that they wanted when they initially started this? Or was it just...
Or do they feel like it's gone out of control, but they're not going to rein it in because it is the people's choice?
Yeah.
And so they're like, this isn't what we intended, but we're going to let it go because it's not up to us.
Yeah.
Or are they like, this is exactly what we wanted?
And then I have to know what they're reading.
I wonder if they read.
I don't know. I wonder if it's...
I want to know what tags they avoid. Personal reading choices, what tags they avoid. I want to know what tags they look for. And I want to know how they feel about ABO.
That's like the 3 questions we need to ask every guest.
Yes.
And the
if they don't-
the third one, if you don't know what we're talking about,
Be
you
good.
win.
You're winning. Honestly, actually, you get a prize.
You get a prize. You get to spin the prize wheel.
Unless you mention pregnancy in the tags you want to hear about, then you're actually sent to jail.
You get kicked off. You
I'm
get slimed.
I'm calling the cops.
I'm calling the cops.
Yeah,
No,
that's a no-no.
It's a personal. I feel like I can. No, I can't. I'm in my baby era where I'm trying to understand people that want children.
Guys, things like this is the reason we need a camera so you can join me in my absolute wonderment at this.
I meant what I said the other night.
You meant what you said and you said what you meant?
I meant what I said and I said what I meant. I want to hold all my friends as babies.
That's not where I thought you were going.
No, I just want to like you, like as an infant, I want to hold you.
Why?
Because I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool.
This is your time travel fix it fic, guys. If any of you
I'm gonna go back and not drop you on your head.
If you I feel like that makes me who I am though. If you guys write fanfiction out there, you need to write this one. Time travel fix it so Bailee can do this. So I'm not sure what she's fixing, but
I'm not fixing anything. I just want to hold my little friends and be like, you are gonna be such a great person you don't even know. And that's it.
I don't want to do that.
You don't want to hold me as a baby?
I don't think so.
What the heck? I was so cute. I had red hair.
It's not about how cute you were.
Whatever.
Don't be upset. Yeah, she's pouting. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if I f up anything in the past, you won't be you the way you are now, and we like you the way you are now.
Bro, I'm talking about holding a baby for 45 seconds. That's not gonna mess up.
Bro, it's called the butterfly effect for a reason. I ain't because I like you how you are right now.
Okay, I can accept that, kind of. Maybe it can be like disguise.
It doesn't matter. If I go backwards and change the events, if that's how time works, which we don't know because all the movies are different.
Wibbly wobbly.
It's timey-wimey stuff, tell you what. But if you go back and it messes up things in the future, I ain't messing it up.
That'd be so cool to see, though, too, if you could do that. I want to see how many different versions of me you can make just by that one interaction of me as an infant.
But I don't want to mess you up.
You can always go back to the other version.
I go back again and get myself from ruining what I already ruined.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. It's like a whole...
No, then we're getting into...
Guys, that's the real fan fiction, is Maddie accidentally... I'm the one who builds the time machine. I'm the one that wants to go back and hold the baby. Something happens, we get in a fight, she gets pushed into the time machine and ends up messing up my life and then has to get back.
Because there isn't a time machine, but she built the time machine. But only original timeline Bailee built the time machine. So when I have to live out my life with baby Bailee until she reaches that point, she can't build it because I f***ed up.
And so you're going to be like 40-something.
Are you have to come back and get me again? Is it going to be you?
Maybe.
Who are you sending? But are we still beefing? Because I've lived through 40 years, but you haven't. You've come back to get me to like fulfill some sense of like, I have to do this because it's my fault.
I feel like we weren't beefing that hard. We were probably beefing as like you weren't wanting me to go back in time.
I feel like we have to be beefing that hard for it to mean anything in the plot.
For us to get physical and push you in.
Right.
Maybe.
You've never... We don't fight physically or emotionally. We don't fight at all. I was like, do we fight? No. I feel like we'd have to genuinely be really angry at each other for us to fight like that.
Yeah, I'm a pretty passive person.
We're both pretty mature-ish for our ages, but if I've lived 20 extra years and current timeline you goes back to get me.
But I'm not gonna be going back to get 40-year-old you.
You wouldn't be.
I would be going back to get the same...
But it'd be so interesting if you had to stop there first. Because you're going back to get me, but if the timeline doesn't work the way you think it works, it goes to the me that just left you, which has grown up 40 years.
Then I wouldn't be going anywhere.
Oh, that's true. Would I go to you? Would 40-year-old me find you? No, because your you is different in my timeline. We're in separate timelines. We're in different streams. No, follow me, right? We were over here, and I went backwards in time, but that was back here, but it went this way, right? And now you can't build time machines. You would jump back here. Right? So this would go away. What if for some reason you had to jump here first?
To the you that went back.
To the me
to
that
the
left.
Other timeline, yeah.
Right, the me that left. What if that's the only way it works, is jumping parallel? For whatever reason. We're making it up. For whatever reason, you have to jump parallel.
But am I jumping parallel up or up and over?
Well, I guess actually...
I would just be going up to the other timeline that's the same time as... Like, I wouldn't be time traveling, I'd be time...
No, you wouldn't be time...
line traveling.
No, you would be... Time traveling would just send you...
quantum jumping.
You would have to... Yeah, you'd be jumping universes. You'd be Right. So...
Time slipping.
Maybe if you're tracking me... Maybe if that's the only way, right? That's the only way this would work this way. You'd have to be tracking me... But me currently is parallel with you. So you'd have to jump multiverses to then go backwards in this timeline.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
these timelines technically touch at that point.
Right, it would.
So
I don't
you
know
would
that
just-
you. I
you
don't
would
know
just
that
have
I
to go
would have to
backwards.
go to
You
that
wouldn't.
timeline because of when it depends
You
on
wouldn't.
what to the second of when I
I guess.
go back and get you. I have to get you before you touch me. Okay, I'd have to get you before you interfere at all. If it's at a point at all when you interfered, at that point I have to jump to a different line.
No, you would just have to jump again, which is a risk.
Yeah, my cells are shaking. But do I even exist anymore?
Well, that depends on how you view the timeline.
Yeah, if it's too different or
because
if
in
it's the same.
theory, if you're saying if you didn't exist anymore, it'd be the same timeline. I'd be jumping back this way, and then it's still one line. It's just one line. So if I go back here, this is now different. Right? And you can't build a time machine, and there is no fixing it. We're talking about the theory of it splitting at that event. So you're still here, but this is over here.
And you're over there.
I think it'd be really interesting if...
And that means there's no you in my line at all.
Not anymore.
Can't be.
Disappeared, gone. Dead, but disappeared, magically poofed. No idea.
It would have to be just because you would have been up until our 20s, and then you just disappeared. Basically.
No. If we split, I disappear in this timeline, but it's not like my history is gone. I just disappear.
Right, yeah.
I don't know how I would write it if I was writing it. It'd be an interesting conversation for 40-year-old other timeline me to talk to.
Me?
You. But personality-wise, it'd make more sense if we flipped it. Why?
Why?
Because I can't decide if 40-year-old me would be over it. Like, it is what it is. You have to leave me here. That's too bad. Like, it is, we become what we become. Like, I don't know how I would react to that. Or do I not remember it at all?
You'd remember it because you just
But
popped into.
But is there two of me? There's two of me in that other timeline.
Yeah, there would be another you.
But there's baby me.
There's baby
But
you.
she's 20 years and I'm 40. So I'm just a weird distant relative?
Well, you would not have a family in that.
No, it would just be me.
It would just be
in the wrong time.
Yeah. Why should the rules be reversed? I don't know.
I'm just curious about it.
I feel like either way I'm a wreck.
I wonder what I fucked up about you in the second timeline, though.
That's what my whole point was. Holding me for 45 seconds is not going to ruin an entire timeline.
But it could. It could. How do you know?
Because I don't remember anybody that held me as a baby.
It's not about what you remember, but it's about what happens.
I'd be more interested to see how you would even get to me. Because if you time traveled and you stayed in the same place, you'd have to travel states and find me.
That's true. Unless... Well, no, hold on, let's think real thoughts. Why would you shoving me into the time machine, though, send me back to when you were born and not when I was born or one of our friends was born? Because your goal
I was trying to go...
Right, so I wouldn't...
So you wouldn't mess up my timeline anyway. You'd mess up your own timeline.
But also... Or whoever's you set up.
Right.
But then you would still know how to build a time machine. So I wouldn't even need current you, I'd need new you. Because I'm not messing up new you's life.
And you might be messing up your own life, maybe, potentially, if you're even going there, but you could stay away from that, and then the same thing would happen. It would just be 40-year-old you would be coming to stop the argument from happening in 20 years, being like,
whoa! Hey! Yes! yeah!
And then if you stop that, you should theoretically disappear and go back to
where
20-year-old you.
Current me, but I would just fade away. Because I wouldn't remember it because it didn't happen.
Right.
That's so crazy. I like that it took us like 15 minutes to figure that out. Well, guys, tell you what, this is why me and Bailee don't write the fan fiction, we read the fan fiction.
That's also why we usually have a plan of what we're going to talk about.
Can you tell? Yeah, I'm sure you can. Bryce, we are so sorry, but not sorry. Oh my! Adios, amigos.
Bye.